Hi. Last video I posted was filmed over a year ago. Reason why I haven't been posting lately is, well, it's related to the title of the video. There has been a disaster at sea. And, you know, first I had to go through the stages of grief. You know, I was pissed off for a while. Finally come around to acceptance, that, shit happens. Main thing is, I'm alive. And I was kind of hoping I would have a job by now and be able to start doing some other adventures and getting on with another portion of life. Unfortunately, due to the economy and a whole bunch of other reasons, life hasn't been working out all that great for me. The debt that I accrued before I left Port Townsend, that was manageable on what I was making with my VA disability. I don't know, I don't remember if I told you, but I am a disabled veteran. I do have money coming in every month, but living on land is expensive, and the debt that I had before would have been manageable if I wasn't living on land. But now I am. And this video is a start to show what happened and explain how things are going and what I really need the money for. And oh yeah, that too. I'm asking for money. I have started a GoFundMe page. The link is down in the description. So if you are moved by my words, if you care about me, if you want to see this channel change into something fun and different, then please, by all means, donate. I have a couple of goals. The first goal, which is the minor goal, is just under $10,000. It's to get me going, to get a lawsuit going, because lawsuits take money. And again, I will explain throughout this video what happened and why the lawsuit is starting. And then the rest is to get me solvent, get me so that I don't have to work Uber while I'm trying to just live. And it's just basically to get me out of debt so I can get back to living a normal life. One of the things that I would like to do because I mean, basically I lost everything. When I moved back to land, I had to buy a new car, so that's one. That is, luckily I had good enough credit at the time that I got off land that I was able to start a line of credit for a vehicle. And then beyond that, it's just been too much to handle. And when I got back, I moved back to Arizona. My mom lives here. My dad passed away a couple years ago, like just about right after I started the whole boat project thing. The rest of the difference between what I have to pay for and what my VA disability covers, I've been trying to cover with Uber. Driving Uber, frankly, sucks, especially in Arizona in the summer, because there's not a lot of people here. Most of the people who live in the area are retired and live a lifestyle of snowbirding, so they leave here in the summer and they come back in the winter. And that's the reality of it. So let me go ahead and start off with the last video, and I will bring my voice in a little bit afterwards to describe what happened. Well, I seem to have got myself in a bit of a pickle. There's about 25 knots of wind. Last night, okay, let me back up. The other day I got a message from an acquaintance who said going around Cape Mendocino it's going to be 25 knots with some seriously heavy swells, and at the time I was like, well, I'm not going to worry about it. As you know, I'm still in Central Oregon, and I'm not going anywhere because there was absolutely no wind where I was. Well, the wind picked up and I started heading in a southerly direction, and I knew the wind was going to pick up, so I reefed in. I put one reef in my mainsail, and I went to my staysail, which is basically a storm jib, and said, okay, this, you know, it's not too bad. And then the wind picked up. Wind picked up. I was booking. I was doing great. I was doing like 6.5 knots. There was like 15 knots of wind. I was fine. Everything was good until the swells picked up. And the swells started knocking my boat around like a little cork in a bathtub. Just going crazy. Basically, a swell would come and turn my boat around, and my autopilot couldn't react, and I was stuck going whichever direction the current took me. Needless to say, everything got tossed around in the boat, and well, it's kind of frustrating because I can't go up and onto the deck and fix it. Anyway, let me continue on. I dropped the mainsail, pulled, furled in the staysail, and it was wow, I'm having a hard time staying in frame here. And there goes some more shit on the floor. The mainsail would not drop. Oh shit! And when I furled in the staysail, all my sheets got tied together. It was kind of a mess. So I very carefully made my way up on deck, pulled the mainsail down as best I could. It's still kind of not quite in the bag the way it should be, but it's down. It's not really catching much wind. My staysail still had a problem with the sheets. I went up. Well, first thing I did is I turned on my Starlink so I can try to get my internet, figure out where I'm going, because picking in a direction and going might not be the greatest thing, because I might be getting into worse conditions. So anyway, I untied the knots of my staysail, which when I pulled it out again, I got another knot, so it's not like I can change tacks at all. But these swells are, as you can tell, insane. They'll hit my boat, and I have a hard time just keeping it going in a straight line. So here we go. This is an adventure. Although now my internet is up, I can finally tell if I'm going in a good direction or not. Right now, it really sucks because I'm going towards shore and I don't know if towards shore is the better direction or not. And I can't really go the other way because my sheets are tied. We will continue this later because I do see my internet is working, even though this is some crazy shit. So after that video took place in well, real time, what happened was the cockpit surround that I had made in Port Townsend. I mean, it looked beautiful, and for the first few days it functioned very well. And I was very upfront when I told the company that was making it that I was planning on sailing across the Pacific. I was planning on sailing to Asia and having well, a good time sailing. But as I got into the waves and everything that was going on there, I had a couple of issues. The first thing that happened was this part was my fault. I dropped a line in the water and without realizing it, and I didn't check it before starting up the motor. That line got caught in the prop, fouled the prop. Okay, that in and of itself would not have been a problem. Not at all. I could have sailed out of the storm area and or waited out the storm area, and I would have gotten I would have dove the boat, I would have cut the line free, I would have been able to start up the motor again and do what I needed to do. But alas, that was not the final problem. The next problem that came up was the autopilot system had a tiller arm that clamped onto the rudder shaft of the boat, and that slipped. I didn't know it. I thought my rudder was compromised. I thought something jammed it up. I was only able to get about half of the turn out of the rudder. I could go from center to far to the starboard, I believe. It's been a year, I don't remember exactly, but I think it was far to the starboard, as far as I knew. But I couldn't dive the boat to find out what was going on because the wind and the wave action was throwing me around from side to side, and I wasn't really able to know what was going on until I could dive the boat. And the last thing I was able to do with the internet was, let's see, I believe that was a Sunday or a Monday. It was still going to be like Thursday or Friday or Saturday before the wind and waves were going to allow me to be able to dive the boat to find out what was going on. Well, to continue, again, that was not a big problem. That would have been fine. If I could have waited it out, I could have waited out and dove the boat and been able to find out what the problem was, fix it, and move on. The problem was the cockpit surround and the mounts for the solar panels. That entire stainless steel framework was held together with set screws. And I even asked when they got done putting up the framework, so you coming back tomorrow to weld it? No, we've never had to weld any of these. That should have been my first red flag. The second red flag should have been when my brother and I were sailing down to Bainbridge Island and Paulsbo. One or two of the set screws fell out. Sometimes you miss a couple things. I understand that. That's fine. I went back to when I got back to Port Townsend after that, I went to the guy that built it. I'm not going to name names here yet because I don't know what the legalities of trying to do this are, but I went back to the guy. He looked at it. He grabbed a hold of the surround and he shook it. Said, "No, it's fine. You shouldn't have any problems. It was just a one-off." Okay, not a problem. Before I went and did my final sail, I did do another sail with my brother. Some more of those set screws came out. We were actually able to find one, put it back in. It seemed okay. Again, I went to the guy. He said, "Oh no, it should be fine. We shouldn't need to weld it." "No, it's all right." Okay. Then I got out onto the water, into the ocean, into the big blue. And more of the set screws came out. At one point during the whole shaking of everything, I noticed one of the couplers had come loose. Again, my fault for not taking pictures, but I didn't take pictures. I was concerned with other things like staying safe, staying dry. And then that Wednesday night came and I wanted to look on the internet to see if anything had changed, if I was going to be able to dive the boat anytime sooner. And I turned on my satellite link and I got nothing. Absolutely nothing. It just kept checking and checking. It was 1 o'clock in the morning. I really couldn't go out and check to see what was going on, so I shut it off. And I waited till morning. Morning came. The sun came up. Of course, the boat was still rocking. And things were flying all over the place. It was a disaster in there, I tell you. It's crazy. So I went out and looked. I turned on the satellite antenna. Still nothing. Went out and finally looked. The support for the solar panels was the same support that I had connected to the satellite antenna. It had completely come loose from the rest of the frame and was laying backwards. So basically my satellite antenna was pointing north, not up, which was a problem because there are no satellites north. And it just got worse and worse, and I started looking around at the cockpit surround, and it was a disaster. Everything was shaking. When the boat heeled to the starboard, the entire cockpit surround frame would shift. Then when it leaned over to the port side, the whole cockpit frame shifted again. And it got to the point where I was not feeling comfortable that being in the cockpit, and I was afraid that 200 pounds of solar panels is going to fall down into the cockpit and possibly hurt me. So I made the call, and I did know A couple of things were, again, one of them was done due to my inexperience, and that was I was told by people who were more experienced than I to go out about 100 miles offshore, and that would, for the most part, reduce some of the high swells that you get closer to shore. I did understand that because I'm a diver and I know how the water works when it hits the shelves and goes in towards shore. So that made sense. So I was out about 100 miles. If I wasn't out so far, if I was out, if I was closer to 50 miles to shore, I probably could have been able to get a tow. I could have had a boat come out, find me, tow me back to wherever I wanted to go. But I was about 95 miles offshore, and that was not going to happen. Due to my experience in my previous life, I knew the Coast Guard would be able to get my radio signals. So I sent my radio signal out, called for the Coast Guard, and long story short, 12 hours later, I was picked up from my boat. And that's when I found that my rudder was pointing straight, or was pointing, well, it was pointing in a direction that I wasn't expecting it to be pointing in, based on what my rudder sensor told me. So that told me what I needed to know about the rudder. But the basic point of the matter is, I got off the boat, I got back to dry land, and that was Thursday, right before Memorial Day or Labor Day weekend. So getting someone to go out and search for my boat was not going to happen. Not that weekend. And well, long story short, or longer story, even shorter, I let the boat adrift. Unfortunately, I did not have a lot of money for insurance, so basically I had liability, and that was it. But that made it so insurance would not cover what happened to my boat. A couple weeks later, after I got back to Arizona, I did get a call from the Coast Guard. Actually, it was more from Vandenberg Air Force Base, Space Force Base, whatever, that my boat had washed up on shore there, and to see if I could come and get it. Well, as you can see from these pictures and this video, my boat was not in a state to be drug offshore and towed anywhere. Besides the hole in the bottom where the keel used to be, there had to be a giant hole in the side of the boat, because there are things that were on the inside of the boat that were on the outside, and everything that could possibly have survived was buried in sand. At least 3 feet of sand. I wasn't going to go digging in there to try to find anything worth anything. So that is basically it. My boat is gone, and the failure of the cockpit surround was basically what did it. If that would have been solid, I would have stayed on the boat. I would have waited for 2 or 3 more days. I would have dove the boat. I would have figured out what was wrong with it. I would have fixed it, and I would have been back to sailing. And there would be plenty of photos and videos to go around of what was going on. If the rudder had not slipped in the tiller arm, I would have continue to be able to sail. I was doing great. I had 25 knots of wind. I was down to my storm jib staysail, and I probably could have had just one reef in my my mainsail, or had 2 reefs in my mainsail. I probably could have been. I was doing like 10 knots, and I could have gotten out of it. The motor, didn't matter what the motor did. If the prop had been fouled or not, it would have made no difference. I probably could have motored a little bit out of what I was doing, but then, you know, it was mainly between the slip in the rudder shaft and the failure of the cockpit surround that basically killed the boat. And I would really like to get back to doing some adventures, to showing you guys what underwater life is like. I would like to get my instructor certification for scuba, so I could make some money by doing diving instruction. But that costs money. It costs money that I don't have. It costs money that I don't think I'll ever have if I continue with the debt the way I have it. It really sucks. So I would like to, at this point, please ask, show this video to your friends, your family, your rich friends, your people that you don't know. Like, subscribe, whatever. Send my GoFundMe page out. I would really like to be able to get back to shooting some videos that are fun, engaging. I have a lot of, I still have my GoPro camera, as you can probably see from some of the GoPro videos that are showing some of my sailing, slow sailing, but sailing. So I can still take that underwater. I have started building up some of my scuba gear. I did have a job for a short time, but location moved to somewhere where I wasn't wanting to go to. So anyway, I really hope you guys would help me out and get me back to a life where I can send some more videos out and have fun, because that's what I really want to do. I want to have fun. And I want to show you guys how much fun we can have.